Welcome back to another round of Nostalgia TV. We are the Graveyard Shift of forgotten television shows, and we are back for another round of The Tick, Season 2.
Bastards are gonna own me.
Papa's getting wasted tonight.
I am completely out of ammo.
Cross my heart, smack me dead, stick a lobster on my head.
The situation has indeed worsened.
You think?
And when I return, I'm gonna drink a bottle of scotch, as if it were Chicky von Richthofen's blood, and celebrate.
Afraid we're at an impasse. You really are filthy.
And fine.
Come upstairs and see my etching.
Not on my watch.
Kevin, did you catch this when it first aired on Amazon Prime for its second season?
I did. This is another one where I was kind of like, I was right there waiting for it to drop the day it came out. And then was super glad that I didn't have to wait each week.
Wait, was this a binge drop? I don't remember that.
I thought it was.
You know what? I think it is, yeah. I know they've been. I know for like some of their shows with like say like The Boys and whatnot, they drop like the first couple of episodes and then they go weekly after that. So that had to have been after the.
They might have done that. They might have done that. I don't actually recall, but
I don't either.
I do know like I was like really excited for this because I loved the first season. Well, I mean, we've talked about it. Like I love everything that's The Tick. Like it's my bag when it comes to comedy. So I was really excited to see where this version of Tick and Arthur were going to go.
Yeah, I was too, because well, I had vague memories of like the animated series and like Patrick Warburton's actual live action show. This was the first one where I'm like, I actually don't know what's happening this season. So I was pleasantly surprised. There were some like Easter eggs. So if you're a hardcore Tick fan, you're going to be very appreciative and you're going to enjoy it. Because they tease a few things, especially towards the end. And I know we'll get to that. I know Kevin's pretty excited, other than the fact that we never get the conclusion to this exciting cliffhanger. But you know, I enjoyed the shit out of this show. Now, I know a lot of people seem to feel like the second season wasn't as good as the first. As a person who is not that familiar with The Tick, I thought this was a pretty good follow-up to season 1. I didn't really have too many issues with it, but there are some issues with this season.
Sure. But I mean, to say it's not as good as season 1, I beg to ask you the question, how do you follow up Jackie as the Terror?
All right. That was great. We had a singular villain with that. While we do get a villain in season 2, it's not on the same sort of charisma or power level.
Right.
To equate that. So
you know Jackie's the bad guy throughout the entire season of season 2. Or sorry, of season 1. You don't necessarily know who the bad guy is until the second to last, maybe last episodes or so, last 3 episodes of this season.
Plot twist.
Yeah, like it's, you know, Aegis is not the benevolent society or organization that they're meant to be. You know that they're not S.H.I.E.L.D. That Ty Rathbone is good to a point, but even then, you know, there's something else there. But they needed to have it. The season needed to be a little bit more 3-dimensional than just having it be another villain, like having it be another nemesis, another great big supervillain to face would have been kind of a letdown compared to having something that was more 3-dimensional like this season was, having the bigger organization, having the bad guy within that organization. And Tick fights multiple different villains throughout this season.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, just not as big as the Terror.
Yeah, like you feel like Lobstercules might actually be some sort of power level, but you end up getting more about the story about Lobstercules. and what the deal is. And as far as anybody else goes, like some people are just mind controlled. Like they try and turn Overkill into a bad guy at a point in this. Well, unwillingly a bad guy. He's reprogrammed to a point. He's got a bug in his head, and we got to figure that out. But then we're also getting our favorite characters are getting new plot revelations and new powers. Like, Arthur's sister now has the foresight. She can see into the future and avoid things, some form of telepathy. And then you got tinfoil hat guy. God,
What was his name?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Kevin guy. We get the realization that he actually has a power to go invisible, and
oh, that's right.
Which completely took me by surprise. Like if that was in the cartoon, I did not freaking remember that at all. But it was super funny, and it came in very handy at the appropriate time. And so there's a lot going on with a lot of the characters from season 1, and it feels like season 2 is more doing like world building more than trying to have an arch nemesis right away. And he gets Superion. He's having a crisis of conscience, so to speak. He feels unwanted, unloved. And what do I have to do to get the love back of my little petty people of Earth? And then in one of the very final scenes, you find out how much of a petty little bitch that man really is.
But I love him.
He's so good. He's so funny. God.
I
love this cast. So
I love that he kidnaps the TV reporter. No, I don't want an autograph.
Let's just go for a flight. They'll take you someplace nice, deep in the heart of like a Amazon jungle.
Yeah.
On a Mayan temple.
And then they parody that scene from Superman the movie where he's flying with Lois. Can you read my mind?
Same with internal monologue. Dude, that was so funny. And the reporter's just in utter fear for his life. Like, I am so fucked.
And he's screaming his head off over this fucking beautiful music and this vocal.
Yeah, that was so bad.
But it was delightful to watch. It really was. And it took itself seriously. Like that's what made it so goddamn fun. Is it took itself seriously. Like it had that hysteric screaming, but it was over really peaceful music. Like you got to see that peaceful scene. You understand it's a parody, but above all that, there's this horrible, terrifying scream.
Yeah.
I'll 0 point on that. Anyway. That was just a damn funny scene.
Well, there's a lot of funny scenes this whole season.
It was subtle.
The comedy is right there the whole season, and I totally appreciated just about everything.
Yeah, like again, like you said, it was world building. It was world building, and it was a step towards that final season. There was I want to say final season, but I want to say I
think that's what we were building towards. Yeah.
Yeah. Where Tick not only saves the city, but now saves the world. And it wouldn't have been just Thrakazog coming. I think it would have been Superion's people judging the earth like they were saying earlier. It would have been a big ass spectacle, but no, Amazon got to be petty bitches about it and decided, no, we don't want to put any more funding into that.
Yeah, I don't understand their reasoning behind canceling the Tick. Like everybody seemed to at least enjoy this show. Were they big fans of this season? Who's to say? But there's fans of the season out there, and there's quite a big outcry from.
I didn't hear any complaints. I never heard anyone complain about the season.
The most I heard was it just wasn't nearly as like solid, but I think it goes to your point of we didn't have a singular villain, and there was and to the point of some things I was hearing, I felt watching this season was there's a lot of subplots going on, and
Yeah.
I mean a lot. All of our characters have stories going on, all the way down to Arthur's stepdad, Walter.
Yep.
Dot's got a story. Miss Lint has a story. The Flag Five, and I say that very carefully because I know if I say it too fast, it's going to come out very wrong and get us demonetized on YouTube.
Again.
But there was like stories with everybody, and then you're also introducing new characters. You're talking about like Tyrannosaurus, or Rathbone. I want to say Tyrannosaurus Rex, but Ty Rathbone's a fun character. He's got a black hole for a heart. That's pretty freaking dope.
That eats
And
mice.
he keeps throwing mice into his chest to satisfy the engine that's powering his heart. So when you hear there's a lot going on, there's really a lot going on this season. And I don't feel like it handles it wrong. I don't think it's very poorly done. I actually think it's very well done. I think it's paced pretty good, but I can see how to like new viewers like, yo, this is a lot.
Well, you're starting to see the city too. Like the city is starting to become a character as well.
Exactly. Because now the Aegis office is open. That means more superheroes are coming in. That also means more supervillains are going to be coming in. And it's going to be to a level where Tick and Arthur can't freaking handle everything. And I totally appreciated like what Miss Lint was doing. She was basically stocking up the villain underworld at the end of this season. And I'm like, that's how you do it. That was great. You thought she was trying to do something even worse. And it's like, no, this was a heist.
This was a heist. Janet was great. She's always great. And
I loved her outfit this season, actually. Joan of Arc, baby.
She was in the Tick versus the Tick episode of the cartoon. Overkill was introducing her at the superhero only bar. And I can't remember if she had the same name or not. Yeah, it was just before Barry comes in.
Okay.
Barry. Who I never caught was Jim Cummings. I'm like, wait, really? That it? Oh shit, yeah. Never mind.
But Dot, same thing with Lint. I like Dot's arc this season where she actually has some powers to her. She resists telling Arthur and Tick about it, but Tick kind of picks up on it almost right away. Like, there's something different about you. Did she call you? Destiny called you, didn't she? That was super fun. Call back to Destiny.
Yeah, for as crazy as he is, Tick's like super intuitive.
Yeah, he's very observant. Like, something's different about you.
Yeah, and he did the same thing with Overkill. Like, you haven't had any urges to kill today, have you, chum?
Well, maybe. So but your wish got unwished. It's like, oh, because Dot saved his life. She's like, you know what? Tick saved your life and he wished you would stop. Well, I unwish his wish because I saved your life too. And he's like, I feel fantastic.
He's empowered because he can kill people again.
After they go on like this little drinking bender
and dance party.
Oh my god, the danger boat and everybody's little dance off. It's what we do before every mission we may not come back from. We do a dance off.
Yeah, we celebrate all these things.
Start doing the dance.
Start dancing for those who can't dance. And you're just like, oh, you guys stop.
Well, I like how that played a role into the final episode too, where everything's kind of settling down and DB's just playing some music over the thing, and then they all start doing the floss, and I'm like, that's a stupid dance move, but whatever.
But they're doing it at the dance or at the party. with nobody else hearing it.
I like Dot and Overkill as a team. That works for me. So
I did. They to your point where you were saying that all the side characters got main stories. Like I liked theirs. I liked their arc together. I liked their camaraderie. I liked their teamwork. It took away from, in a good way, the did they mention me sort of bit from season 1 between Overkill and Janet. Or
they
Miss
seem
Light.
like they're kind of over each other at this point. Even
Yeah.
Janet's ex-husband was referenced briefly in this season.
Oh, Derek or
Yep,
Daryl?
Derek. No, it was Derek. It was Derek, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just mentioning like he was like in the medical hospital, not remembering anything that happened the previous season. Yeah, Derek's doing fine. He's just in the hospital. He doesn't remember a damn thing.
Her ex-husband.
IT Derek. Jesus Christ. IT Derek. You had to marry him? Fuck.
Fuck.
I used to do voices when I was a kid. I'm terrible at them now, but I'm still going to try anyway.
I smoked and destroyed my larynx, so,
God damn it, you pussy.
I know, right?
You put the eye and quit.
They used to be tempered, and now it's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Fucking quitter.
I know. Anyway.
I do feel like the season was missing at least a little scene with the terror, but he was frozen and imprisoned, so we do not get to see him this season.
Yeah, and I'm curious if we would have seen him in the 3rd season. That's something I would have
think
liked
so.
to ask. I would have liked to ask Mr. Edlund about that. Like,
yeah, Bob.
Ben.
Whatever your name is.
Smack you in the head.
Wait,
yeah,
is that Destiny calling? I'll be right back. No.
But I just would have liked to have seen if we would have gotten more insight on what he meant about trying to help save the world from what was coming.
Like, you idiots! I'm not trying to take over the world. I'm trying to save it.
Yeah, because Lex Luthor is evil, does terrible things, but at the same time doesn't want humanity to fall to superheroes.
Yeah, he actually does have a relatively honest motive for everything.
Well,
by being a freaking criminal.
Yeah,
he still wants to rule the technology world and still wants to do this, that, and the other, but he still wants to at least get humanity should still be in charge of this planet.
He is the smartest man, so he should be the king amongst men, not gods amongst men that don't earn it.
Right.
Yeah, or don't deserve it, whichever.
Yeah, but unfortunately Jackie's not in this season, and he is missed. I do think they handle the season pretty well, though. What was that Overkill? What was that doctor's name that he was going after? That they ended up naming
the Duke
nerd doctor?
The Duke.
The Duke, that's right. Yeah.
Which was a fun ass character. It was a guy, an eclectic art collector that was selling human beings programmed to think that they were furniture.
It's a feng shui.
But to hear that guy that was deprogrammed talk about how he was explaining to himself in his head, you're a lamp, and it's hard to deny that you're a lamp when you're telling yourself, dude, you're a lamp. You're a lamp. Just watching this guy.
You're a lamp.
Yeah, watching this guy eat and trip out over the fact that he was a lamp.
That was so weird.
Dressed up like a fucking human condom.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I've seen anything quite like this before. This is pretty interesting and creepy.
And creepy. And they were Ottomans. Yes, they were Turkish.
And sectionals.
It's like, oh, I love racism. Yay.
And so do we.
Was that racist? Does that count as? I don't know. I'll pretend it did.
It could be. It could be. We got standards, Kevin.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right now.
A girl's gotta have her standards.
I took my sildenafil.
There you go. At least they kept up with the solid budget this season. Everything still looked very polished. Everything looked good. The fights were fun.
They had a
Everything
bigger budget.
kinetic energy to it. I believe there was a little bit of a increase with the budget, but usually the first 3 seasons usually aren't too bad for shows. It's once you hit season 4 that they end up renegotiating and trying to go for even more money.
Yeah, which would have been great. Because again, the special effects, yes, it was most certainly CGI, but it wasn't the worst thing that you could have possibly hoped for in a show like this.
They did a lot better this season when they incorporated a lot more practical effects instead of like all digital, like Lobster Hercules. Very practical in that regard, except for a few particular things and motions it would do.
Yeah, like even her eyes were for the most part all practical, weren't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, but she herself, the suit was beautiful to see, and the stunt work that the stunt artist was doing wearing that suit was pretty fucking amazing. Like it had a lot of mobility for as bulky as that suit looked like it was.
Right.
The fight scenes are pretty spot on for it.
I was gonna say the only way that suit could have been better is if they had like the Henson people involved.
Yeah, but did you notice that when Aegis had her locked up, that they had rubber bands around her pinchers?
Yep, it was like they were what, like glue or something?
Yeah.
I'm like, huh? Are they trying to boil her alive for dinner one night?
Yeah, and that was
and her little babies. Oh my god.
The singing. You guys shut up. I love Miss Lynn. Like everyone loves the little lobster babies and thinks they're so cute, except for Miss Lynn. Like she's totally annoyed by them.
Oh yeah, when they were singing at the hotel and she's like, shut up,
banging on the goddamn wall.
Yep. And then when Arthur and Tick like go to rescue the babies and she comes out after they've beaten up 2 of them, they're like, hey, would you mind watching these guys for us? And she's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. After she's having a conscious crisis too as well, because she's starting to learn that she's actually digging being a superhero because she's disguised as a superhero so she can get into the front door of Aegis so she could rob the place eventually. But she ends up having to break up crimes, catch criminals. She even catches her own freaking gang despite letting them subsequently go. But she still goes through the whole process of, you know what, this actually is kind of fun. And Tick calls her out on it, which I totally loved. He's like, there's something different about you. You're liking this, aren't you? It's a small voice, but it's starting to get a little louder, and one day you won't resist the call of destiny, and you will become a superhero. And she's like, "Oh, shut up!"
And she does.
To get her to sign all the papers in triplicate.
But again, that's one of those moments where you're kind of like, they could have played Tick off like he didn't recognize her. He could have been the oblivious one, and Arthur recognized it, and he didn't believe Arthur. But no,
she did do that for a little bit, but not long.
Just a second. Like Arthur said, that's Miss Lint, and he's like, by Jove, you're right. Like, oh shit. But it didn't take any convincing whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they could have played Tick dumber that way, and I'm glad that they didn't.
Well, yeah, it is one of his first comments is like, "I like the outfit." She's got style. I knew I liked her. It's like, oh no, Tick.
What did he call her? Angry Lightning Lady.
Angry
yeah.
Lightning Me. Yeah.
Love him.
Oh, Peter is fantastic as Tick. Like this season totally solidified that. Like, I enjoy Patrick Warburton, don't get me wrong, but like Peter's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and see, here's one of the things, and I don't know if this is something that people was complaining about, but you don't see as much of Tick and Arthur in this season as you did in the first season.
Yeah.
Like you said, the other characters are given their time to shine. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when you do finally get to see Tick and Arthur, god damn, are they just damn funny on screen. And it's not usually together in this season. They're split apart quite a bit.
Yeah.
But like when you do finally get to see Tick, Peter's just totally selling it, like doing some really crazy funny things. At one point, when you look at the reality of it, he's playing horsey and bouncy with CGI babies that aren't really on him at all. Like
until the grown-ups need to talk.
Yeah, like they're on his shoulders, latched on, and he's like giving these lobster babies horseback rides. But
That's
realistically, there's nothing there. But he has the joy of an uncle that's getting to play with these kids that like never gets to, and finally gets the chance. He's like, like bouncing around the house.
Yep.
And he sells it.
Yeah,
he's awesome at it.
He's so good. I don't know where they were going with the whole. At the beginning of the show, he was having like flakes of his suit falling off, but I think it was largely for the suit redesign. But they're saying like he was like, oh God, I forgot what the word was, like smelting or whatever.
Molting.
Or molting, yeah.
Yeah, like a bird. Which is really, really gross when you think about it in terms of like tick scales.
Yep.
Or carapace, whatever.
Shedding his skin. He's evolving as we speak.
He's evolving. He's getting bigger.
He's getting ready for the upcoming alien invasion, everybody.
Cool. Oh, wait. These aliens are from another dimension, too. Extra dimensional aliens.
Now, let's get right to it. Did you like how it ended this season?
I loved it.
What was to come? Okay.
Oh, golly, yeah. Because, again, one of my favorite episodes is...
Spoiler alert, everybody. We're going to get into it now, so...
I loved the tick versus the common cold when I was a kid. And that involved this extra-dimensional being called Thrakkerzog, who wanted to clone the tick and take over this dimension and then his own. And the best that he could get from him, he had this monstrous Arthur that was basically like Arthur's toenails and mucus. So it was this gross looking little Arthur monster. And the most DNA they can get from Tick is his boogies, because they can't get his toenails, they can't get his antenna, like they can't damage him. So they get one of his snot rags and they make a booger tick. It's just funny as hell.
The like boogie monster.
Yeah, so Tick's got to fight a booger version of himself and Thrakkerzog that has this tongue that's its own sentient being that whines because it wants to eat brains instead of doing all these weird machinations and shit. It's like, oh, his brains, eat his brain.
Just arm him with some nasal spray.
Yeah. Like, I highly recommend looking up those episodes. They are fantastic. They're not streaming anywhere right now, unfortunately. Thank you, Hulu, but still.
Yeah, maybe one day. It'd be nice to see that accessible to everybody once again.
Yeah, like it was nice having it on Disney Plus for a week or so.
Oh, that's how long it was on for?
I don't know exactly, but it wasn't very long. Like it must have been on there for a short period of time when they first made that transition. Where like everything is on Hulu that's also accessible on Disney.
Is it even on like Amazon? I'm gonna take a look here.
I don't. You might be able to rent the episodes. I'm not sure.
Riveting, but well, you can get the DVDs and seasons, but
Yeah, which are totally worth it. I have 2, but apparently there's 3.
oh, okay.
I think I have the 3rd one digitally because yo ho.
The Tick versus season 1.
And it's hard to say, oh, that's the good one, or that one's okay, that one's not okay. No, they're the 2 box sets that I have are both really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was one of the neat things about that old series. Is like it was always really funny. There was never an episode where you're kind of like, I didn't laugh that much, I didn't get it, it wasn't that good. No, they were all funny. None of them had anything to do with another episode, but they were just all damn funny.
And The Tick is not on Amazon. You can watch the 2001 show with Patrick Warburton, or you could watch their own version from 2016.
Motherfuckers. Which they should let you get on Blu-ray.
Or DVD.
Something.
Well, you can get the DVD. But
oh, you can get it. Remind me to put that on my list with Leonard Six.
oh god. I'd rather face Thrakazad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to 0 point this. So Thrakazog, we get to the end. Dr. Agent, what's his fuck, killed Agent Tyrannosaurus Rathbone. And
oh, he had Overkill do it, but
yes. So when the body's in the morgue and the black heart hasn't been fed, it opens up and you see this tentacled arm come out with 3 fingers. And if you've watched the cartoon or if you've read the comic book, you recognize that as Thrakazog's hand. And you hear it say Thrakazog, and I'm kind of like, oh, I would love to see how he looks on screen for season 3. I would love to see if Tick fights Booger Tick in season 3. But we didn't get any of that. And we didn't get to see Superior finally get to him figuring his shit out and wanting to rule the world, probably, likely. I don't know.
no, the Galactic Police showed up at his back door.
Oh, that's right. They fucked him up.
That was the end credit scene, yeah.
His world was going to post their judgment on our world. That's what it was.
Yep. And they were beaming him up to be arrested at the same time.
Yeah.
And his comment was, oh shit. I would have video clips, everybody. I tried to make them, but Amazon Prime's video and everything just does not tend to work out the best.
Nope. It's just a black screen. They suck.
Yeah, they're very active about that kind of thing. So, that being said, no clips, and I couldn't really get pictures either.
That's why I didn't have any fun pictures of the opening credits. I liked the stick figures that they had at the beginning. I don't know why. I just thought they were cool looking.
All right.
Yeah. I'm easy to please.
Well, and Joan and Walter were easy to please once Joan found out the secret truth about Walter. Were you okay with that revelation, Kevin?
Yes,
that was
and
maybe
no.
the one part of the story I was a little about when it got revealed that Walter was a longtime agent that fell in love with her right after her husband died. Arthur and Dot's real dad. It's like, oh, that's creepy.
Yes and no. Like there was a lot of good backstory added to it, but I'm not necessarily certain that his character needed the backstory.
Right.
Like the ambiguity of Walter was really a good part for his character, I think. So to do away with that ambiguity completely might have been a mistake. I'm not sure. I guess maybe that's one of those things where history will tell.
Right.
But I was okay with him having his own secret identity. I was good with that from everyone.
Yeah, and he's basically just an Aegis long-term agent who basically retired and married Arthur and Tech's mom, Joan.
Yeah, which was that was okay to me. I didn't find it terribly creepy. I mean, I get what you're saying.
They teased it enough in season 1 to where it's like that final episode where he actually beats up the 4 guys holding them, and he's like, "Oh, I thought the Tick did it or somebody. Do you know what happened to these guys? Neither do I."
It's a mystery. Womp womp.
Yeah, but at least in this we get like the full load of the secrecy, and even he's forgiven things. It's a nice, neat, tidy little package, but it would be interesting to see the dynamic going into the next season.
Yeah, and
which we never got. So screw off, Amazon.
Everyone but Amazon was on board with season 3. Like, there was nobody in the crew that didn't want it to happen. Like, nobody in the fans. There was nobody that wasn't a fan of this show. I never heard anyone say this iteration sucked. I hated it.
Yeah. You can have personal opinions about which season you like best, but they're still both good, consistent TV.
Oh, I'm curmudgeonly. I hate everything. And there's no bad iteration of the Tick.
That's true.
Like, the Fox series is my least favorite because it's very much a primetime series. This didn't have the restrictions that did.
No, because they could actually swear. And when they would beat the shit out of somebody, they'd beat the shit out of somebody.
They beat the shit out of somebody. If Overkill killed somebody, he killed somebody, and it splattered.
And he felt better about it. I love Overkill. He's one of my favorite characters.
He's such a child.
He's such a badass too.
Yes, he is. He is, but he's a giant man baby.
Yeah.
But I love him for it because that's all of us inside, and probably everybody watching.
Did you like Danger Boat this season? One of the best episodes of the season is when they get trapped on the boat because DB is having a conflict of conscious crisis as well there too. He was remembering his first boat owner or first captain. And what they used to do and hang out and be buddies and watch movies together. And he's having a meltdown and ready to cook everybody inside the boat until Arthur pleads with him. You're not the only one who's lost somebody, buddy.
It
was very interesting, let's say that in the least. And Danger Boat totally has like feelings for like Arthur, which is like, wow, okay.
It was probably the best episode for the core cast.
They were all in one place.
Yeah, it was filler in a way because it stopped everything from the plot happening. Or it stopped everything from the overall plot from happening.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was really good. It didn't feel like it was filler. I guess it was a bit tricksy in a way. You just have to you recognize it technically as that, but it was fun. You didn't with the backstory to DB, it didn't take anything away from him. It really was just a good addition to his character.
Just don't tell him he can't fly.
Yeah, his character was already established. Like, he was already self-aware. He was already male. He was already gay. He was already a danger boat.
Danger boat,
And
danger boat.
in love with Michael, which I can't remember what show that they were going to watch for like the 30th time.
I don't remember. I know it came up once, but I didn't write it down.
Yeah, like, oh God, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Oh, I can. Like, oh,
Yeah, because it's
good
your
God.
favorite freaking show, DB. Jesus.
Yeah. But it was funny. There was, but there wasn't enough DB in this season. So I guess
It was
this,
kind of in the background, yeah.
yeah, this episode was kind of the cherry on top for the DB fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think about it as far as them being cut off from the rest of the world, being stuck inside DB himself?
Well, I always attribute those kind of like scenes or like one location shootings. That's a good time to find out how strong your cast really is together. And they already had a built up chemistry. They all were working well together to begin with. But that's when you see like the true talent of your core cast come out. Like that sink or swim moment is what I call that. And they saved that for this season and for a very actual important episode that while it is filler, it does provide some more history and ideas about DB as a boat and the secret and trying to not maintain that level of secrecy between each other. Like we all are working together here. If we're going to do that, we need to be honest with each other. And so you go through that process and you also find out how strong their bonds really are. So it's kind of testing everybody. And that always strikes well with me if it's done good. They did excellent here, and it showed how strong the characters were, and they all ended up being better off after that.
I think so. I think this was kind of like that peak of stress for all the characters, and once they get past that, everyone's free. There's a weight off the chest of everybody.
Yep, Dot and Arthur have met a middle ground. Tick and Overkill have relatively resolved their little tension at the moment, and then DB with Arthur, and then with everybody. It was like they needed some sort of event to tell them to knock it the fuck off, talk it out, let's figure this out. And while Arthur's talking Danger Boat down at the very end, that's when Dot realizes I need to talk to my brother.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And so that gives you some real emotional weight to a show that already has plenty, but without overloading it. So they did very well with that, I thought. I really enjoyed it.
Right, because that's what's one of those things that keeps the show grounded from being cheesy.
Yeah.
Because it's got cheesy jokes. The jokes are supposed to be cheesy. The heroes
Absolutely.
are supposed to be cheesy, but not the story, not the acting necessarily.
Yeah.
Most certainly not the story. Like Peter could act cheesy in a way.
Yeah.
But it has to make sense for the character. The story can be cheesy, characters can be cheesy in a way, but it has to make sense for the story. If it doesn't make sense, if it's just coming off as cheap and cheesy, then it's simply that. It's not fun cheesy. Does everyone can everyone smell the cheese difference?
Yeah, especially if you're using Velveeta.
Velveeta, yeah. You got my sweet cheese whiz, boy.
I don't, but I could get it for you, sir.
Totally.
Pardon me, would you happen to have any Grey Poupon?
I happen to have some right here.
We'll just call on the terror next time, that's all.
I got some right here.
Goddamn! I'm trying to work here. All right.
I can't even with that one. Nope.
You can't. Goddamn pussy.
Pussy.
Is there anything else you liked about this season, buddy?
Yeah, there was the hotel that they were staying at within the city. that was called the Lalo Hotel.
Oh, the under the volcano, yeah.
Yes, and that was a nod to the Tick versus Pineapple Pocopo, who was a military despot
Yeah.
and a vacation island resort owner.
Yeah.
So I was really hoping to see Pineapple Pocopo like behind the desk or in a picture in the
That would have
Lalo
been
Hotel.
funny.
Yeah, and I think the best that you got was like pictures of pineapples in Janet's room.
Yeah.
So, but God, that I would have loved to have seen that.
That's true.
Despot and resort owner.
Despot. God, that's funny. Oh man, that's a good show. I was very pleased with this. It was just when it was over, I was like, "Damn it, we almost could have gotten a third season." Now I'm not gonna beat on that topic the whole time. It's just this was a really good show, and I really grew fond of this. And
Yes,
I want this on fucking Blu-ray. God damn it.
this is an easy universe to fall in love with. It's an easy universe to fall comfortably into and just laugh
Not too
and
crazy.
enjoy. Yeah, the city itself, is it a dangerous place? Sure, yes, it is, but it's not so terrifying that this show's really dark and gritty. I need to watch something else afterwards. No, like
This is the show you watch after watching something like that, actually.
Yeah. And it's amazing because the show still can get dark and gritty.
Yeah. When it needs to. It just doesn't dwell in it.
They were going to eat babies.
Yeah. That was what I was about to bring up. It was going to be like, unless you're going to try and fire up a pot of boiling water and you want to throw a bunch of baby lobsters in there, like, good Lord. Like the worst it really ever got was like when Superion was like going nuts and being like, if I spin around the world in reverse, I can turn back time. Or maybe I just blow everybody up and just take over. What do I do?
I should go ask Arthur.
And then Arthur's trying to talk to him because he knows he can hear him from like anywhere in the world. I could really use your help right now. And Sabrina is just on the moon, and he's just like, don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Especially when confronted by the Duke with a remote control with Lobstercules and Overkill shooting at him, and Dot's like, I'll go take care of him. And then Miss Lint just turns on the Duke, fries the remote, and she's like, did we get everything? Yep, we did. Especially from her new sidekick, Edgelord. We would be remiss if we did not bring up Edgelord, dude. Fresh out of Hot Topic.
Your social media is through the roof.
Hey, you got a fancy setup over here in the middle of this alley. What are you up to, buddy? Nothing.
It's not a character you would like in any other show. Like I don't see me liking this character anywhere else.
Right.
But we're working for Janet, taking Frank's job. You're just kind of like, oh God, I hate this little bastard, but I love hating him at the same time.
God, such a prissy little boy.
Yeah. And mercenary, just like Janet, like I'm totally cool going good as long as the pay is going to be there.
Well, especially when Flexon, or wait, Flexible Man or Flexon?
Flexon?
Flexon? Yeah, when he was going to talk to Lobstercules at one point, Edgelord is just kind of walking by. He's like, hey, over there, you got one of them fancy little doohickey pads. Can you unlock this door for me? I need to go speak to my client. And he opens the gate for him. He's like, hey, you're a good kid. I'm just cracking up. I'm like, Flexon, you are a moron. But I liked him and that actor was in like Walking Dead, and he's been in quite a few other shows. But
Was
it
he
was
in
fun
Walking
seeing
Dead?
him. Yes, it was. He was a villain for like maybe 2 seasons, and then he was gone.
Oh, he's always a villain.
Yeah, he was associated with Negan in the show, but he had
Oh,
more facial hair. In this one, he just had the little stubble going on, and so it kind of threw me. But I recognized the hair and the voice was there.
he's a detective in Arrow, and he was really good in that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he plays Laurel's dad.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last name. Danvers?
You just need your third eye, Kevin.
My third nipple. That was so gross. And they're like, touch it.
I couldn't stop seeing it either. He's like, the eyes up here.
And he's sitting there like, you're still looking at his third nipple while he's talking about this place being haunted. You're still looking at his nipple.
Well, I like the character, but in the very final episode, he has probably the best read on everything. Where, he's looking at Ty Rathbone, and he's like, "No, he's still got another secret that he's not telling anybody about, and it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad."
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
like,
coming
"Oh."
from inside.
And he's what? Who's the other guy? Bronze Star?
Bronze Star, yes.
Yep.
Who looks like a street performer from San Francisco.
It's like, what does that guy even freaking do? He's just super popular.
Yeah, super popular and super bronze. Like, I don't know, like, is he hard if you hit him? I don't know.
I don't know. We'd have to ask his last girlfriend, Kevin.
His last girlfriend. All right, I'll bite who?
The bronze knob.
The bronze knob.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
I like it.
Get to polishing, woman.
Yeah, that just got us demonetized, or someone's like waiting to kill us.
Well, I'm not editing this, so that's it. If we want to talk about some episodes at all, we could do that.
There was that one with the dude.
The dude
and the thing.
The pilot. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was the last episode. We're on second season, Kevin.
Oh gosh. I'm on the wrong page then. Excuse me. You know what? I don't know, but one of the things that I thought was worth mentioning is a lot of the Tick heroes and the villains are not only just parodies or satires, but they are stereotypes. Or they are a shot at stereotypes. So like the Donnie clan, where there was like each guy was named Donnie because he's from Boston, and they're lobster fishermen.
Boston.
Yeah, like that. I don't think they played that enough, how the gang could have looked as far as all being lobster fishermen. But that is the type of humor that you would get in the comic book, like where they're just stereotypical all fishermen, all lobster fishermen. Like,
Too bad they all weren't wearing tracksuits. That would have been even funnier.
Yeah, like if they were all dressed out of something like off the front of a Gorton's fish stick bag, that would
have been funny. Yeah.
Yeah, then that would have been more appropriate. But it would.
Then they would have been complaining about that the whole time. Like, I look like a fish stick commercial.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's what they should have looked like. That's what you expect to see in this type of universe.
Right.
So, anyway, that was my soapbox. That would have been my one gripe for this season.
Okay.
Is that group not looking the way that they should have. Like the Ramses gang looked pretty much the way that they should have.
Oh yeah. I actually don't have too many gripes about this season myself.
No.
I suppose if I think about it, it's more of like I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. I don't really have a problem with this season at all. Other than it's clearly doing world building and setting up for a season 3 that we never got.
Yeah, and that's up until the statement where you say that we never got. You want to say, well, that's okay. It's okay that it's setting up season 3, except that we never got season 3.
Yeah.
And Amazon won't ever let us get season 3 or anything that would resemble a season 3.
No, they're sitting on the fucking rights, and they're not going to let anybody else do it, because there was a period of time where Netflix was interested in acquiring it, but Amazon said, nope, not doing it.
Ah, I didn't know that. I knew that they were
They
trying to
did
shop
try
it
and
around.
shop it. Yeah, they did try and shop it, and from what I understand, Netflix did express interest. It wasn't like an official offer. I think they were just kind of like testing the waters to see, like, hey, can we do anything here or no? And Amazon basically just said no.
Wow. Huh.
Because they've done that with a few other shows between the two. But this is one of those times where it might have been better if the Tick went to another network entirely. I don't know how well it would have worked out on Netflix. They probably would have wanted to change too much.
If only Netflix, or not Netflix, Disney Plus could buy the rights, but that'll never happen.
No, I don't even know who would even have the TV rights anymore. But for this particular show, this is under lock and key with Amazon Prime. So
yeah,
not happening. And if you want a DVD or Blu-ray, that's not going to happen either. You might as well just go looking across the 7 seas, or go find some booties. So
that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I do want this.
I'm going to do it too. I've seen them on eBay. I know you can find the bootlegs. I really want this in the collection. I really don't want to keep watching this of Amazon Prime Video because their streaming service is overpriced.
At this point, yeah.
I mean, I know it's bundled in with the shipping, but there's going to come a time when that stops and the price on this is going to go up yet again for Amazon Prime Video.
The 2-day shipping is not a thing anymore. Like,
it's about to be a thing because people are going to stop doing Amazon Prime once it gets expensive enough.
I hope they, anyway.
Yeah, I know. I hear you on that.
That'll be a 0 point.
Yep. And we do that enough anyway.
But anyways, I liked this. I would have liked to have seen this universe get that final expansion, get that final bit of room of growth and flex. I'm sad that it didn't get it, because what we did get in this was intriguing. This season didn't get boring. They let you go until the last episode or two. Like you said, until you was like, oh, okay, that's who the bad guy is. It's a little lackluster, but the ending of the season isn't lackluster. Like, that's correct. It's so very hard to explain. Like, they're not fighting a big supervillain at all.
They're preparing for the next big supervillain is what they're preparing for.
Yeah. And they kind of stumble across everything, and it's hard to explain, but it maintains being entertaining, and you need to find out what happens next. Like, it's not like you want to, like, you need to see what's going to happen next. Like, there's an other dimensional threat coming. There is political threats coming. There are outer space threats coming. So, like, season 3 was going to be huge. There were threats coming from all levels, and the city was going to be like ground zero for all this shit happening.
And I'd be curious how far along they were ready with the season 3. Like, if any scripts were actually done, or if they just had kind of like a basic outline.
That would have been good to ask. To ask. God, I wish he would have let us interview him one day.
Well,
anyway.
Ben, Bob, Benny, come on.
Steve,
Dylan.
Not everyone's named Steve, you know.
Steve, like the 3 Steves that we know.
Yeah, our panel of Steves.
Steve, and Steve.
Steve.
City reference.
Anyway, yeah, that's our family.
Yep. Well, you want to get into some episodes and then let's wrap it up?
Let's do that.
All right, we're back to season 2 with episode number 1, lesson number 1, Think Quick. Reminding me of what happens in this episode is Tick is constantly testing Arthur how quick his reflexes are. Keeps throwing shit at him, keeps pushing him, keeps surprising him at random. Super funny. We start to see that Dot is a bit more on the psychic front with her abilities. Like, oh hey, so Dot now has powers. And let's see here. Arthur quits his job because he's faced with an ultimatum. You will either work a very safe job or you can go gallivanting as a superhero. Well, superhero life, here we come.
Yeah, the firm wouldn't insure Arthur working there.
Yep. Jeez. And then Arthur goes to cash his checks in, and the bank gets robbed by Lobstercules and a bunch of I don't know who you call them, like New England assholes.
Bostonians.
Bostonians. Yep, they're robbing the bank, so that's a pretty good reveal for Lobstercules. And then we get introduced to Agent Commander Ty Rothbone.
Tyrannosaurus Rathbone.
Yeah. Getting me a real deep boy.
What was he talking about? Like he wanted to sign this form, but it wasn't his fault that his name was so goddamn long.
Oh my god, he was signing a lot of papers while they were restarting the branch for Aegis. It's like crazy. And all the like drones that Kevin sees, and then he disappears for a few episodes and you don't realize it till he comes back and he says, "Oh, I've been out of town for a little while. Now I'm back again."
That's right. And he had to sign all the paperwork and it took forever because his name's so goddamn long.
Name's so goddamn long. Goddamn it, Ma. Why did you give me such a long name?
Tyrannosaurus Rathbone.
And then we go.
Commander Agent. Oh, no, I was saying Commander Agent.
Commander? No, I thought they said Agent Commander.
Is it? Agent Command. Okay.
Oh my god, it's so stupid either way. Anyway,
no, but it's funny.
That's true. That's true. All right, episode 2, Aegis into You. Aegis reopens, and they're all talking about how like they let's see here. Destiny and Arthur and Tick is a common theme through this. Superion is disenfranchised with his life, and he could be from outer space. Oh, that's Lobstercules. They were talking about how they don't know anything about Lobstercules, and Tick had the bright idea that maybe he's from outer space, not knowing that he is really a she.
It's true. He had a very lovely singing voice.
Yep.
And crustacean boobies.
Yeah, and we'll also get introduced to sidekick Edgelord here. And I liked one of his comments where, we're talking about your social... Oh, no. It's one of Superion's little agent buddies, his little marketing PR guy. And Superion's on his computer. He's going through all of his social media, seeing all of the dislikes and downvotes he's getting. And his assistant basically says, "Yeah, we'll just buy some bots and improve those for you." And I'm like, even for like a few years ago, that's still on par with today.
Yeah, like you go through the accounts for say like Disney, Marvel, any big company, Warner Brothers, or like they're coming out with a new movie and you see all the, "Oh, I can't wait for this" accounts. Yeah, those are paid for. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Brand new games. This game rocks. Does it, EA? Does it?
Ubisoft. We're talking to you too, buddies.
Yeah, specifically.
Star
Wars.
Yeah, that too. Marvel. Snow White trailer that just came out.
I'm so glad we got to pirate that.
Oh god, yeah.
It was
Well,
horrible.
actually, we could actually air those now on our streams. That's now okay to do as of today.
Oh, okay. So we could
So
say
we
that.
can get to that on Saturday.
Cool. Good luck, everyone. Courage.
You're gonna need it. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with some hot beige with episode number 3. This is where Superior basically nabs Arthur, and Arthur wakes up in Guatemala with a nice, fresh, hot cup of coffee because Superior does not know what to do with his life.
I love after he tells him, maybe just give people a gesture, show a gesture that you mean well, like a gift, and he figures this shit out, or thinks he figures it out with Arthur, and he's gonna leave, and Arthur's like, oh hey, wait, Superior, do you think you could give me a ride back?
Right back.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, sure. Don't forget your blanket. Like, oh god.
Oh no, it was Arthur
Bill.
telling him like, hey, hold on a second, I gotta grab my blanket and his pillow. I just love how Superion's just like, I'm just gonna nab him in the middle of the night. Nobody's gonna know a thing. And Tick could be in the same damn room and Tick wouldn't do shit.
Yeah, Tick, when Arthur gets back, Tick's like the apartment is burning. There's smoke coming from somewhere. There's still like battle scars all over the apartment from season 1. You're like,
Chum.
oh, thank God you're back. This place is chaos without you. And you're like, what is happening? And you never figure out what.
No, you just know that it has something to do with the Tick.
Yeah, like he can't maintain normal life without Arthur.
Yeah.
The phone will catch fire inside the sink.
Catching fire. Dot starts training. She's whatever art form she was practicing. But some pit fighting kind of style. We get introduced to the Flag 5, Flex Man, Flex On. That I liked him. That was super fun. And then we start seeing like the whole like Aegis building, filling out the paperwork, just going through the whole process. And Destiny's Calling Dot line happened here. And this is also when we get introduced to the Duke, Overkill, and Overkill having to deal with Ty Rathbone, his former superior commander.
That's where it got to be a bit fun. This is one of the side or subplots that they could have focused on a bit more.
I think so,
and that
too.
Been okay. Like, okay, let's find out a little bit more about his backstory with Aegis, because that's 2 different things there. So it would have been worth exploring. It was okay if they didn't, but it was one of those things where you've been like, oh, okay, well, that would have been interesting to know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway, there was a lot to fit in this season. It was the bridge.
Yeah, so when we're going through this rapidly, it's like this is literally all the notes I wrote down, and I'm not going to read like synopses from like IMDb. Half the time they're incorrect or they're spelled weird, and I don't want to get tripped up on that. It's a little bit easier to just kind of do some bullet points and see if some conversations develop here. And number 4, we got Blood and Cake. Arthur, did you get the cake for your mom's party? Basically, Superion's going crazy. He carved up Devil's Tower in an image of himself. And I nearly died laughing because I forgot about that. He ruined a national landmark just to provide a statue of himself as a gift to everybody.
Yeah, as he's holding us dying.
Yeah. Even thanks. Oh, that was so fucking funny. I nearly died laughing with that one. And it took me a while to get back to watching that episode because I kept laughing because I kept resuming in the same spot where it was frozen on the Devil's Tower. I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. All right, let's see here. I unwish Tick's wish has happened in this episode. Thank you, Dot. You let him go after you both got drunk and you fell asleep with Overkill. Dot, you naughty, naughty girl. And then we could talk about Latvian hacker trending like you on Twitter. I don't remember what the hell that was all about, but we also get to see Foham with that's the spam variant for what they got in this show that Overkill eats, and and that's what Danger Boot. God, Foham. They showed that in the first season, but they brought it back again this season.
And he's just sitting there mowing down on it like it is out of a can of spam, and he's in some Metal Gear Solid type scenario.
Oh God, yeah. We definitely get some more espionage duo stuff with the two, especially when they go to the island and Overkill gets trapped.
Could have been Pineapple Pocopo. Just saying.
Could have been. I totally agree with you on that. Episode 5. Dot and Overkill are now working together. Dot dodges bullets. Miss Lint is now a superhero, and she's got a plan, and we are not yet wise to what she's doing, other than she's trying to get in with the Flag 5, and clearly she's up to no good. But that's a nice start for her. Then we also have a few different storylines going, and Lobstercules' situation starts to become a little more clearer to the audience about what's going on with her. She's clearly being used, and we're not quite sure exactly why quite yet, but then we end up finding out that she's got babies. And then we go on to episode 6, Categorically Speaking. Veranda and Arthur try to do their paper completion forms, and Veranda scares the Tick dramatically because he's like, "You two are crazy," kind of a speech. And I think that Arthur and Veranda are a very cute kind of dynamic that gives Arthur like, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. I got all these papers. I used to be an accountant." And she's like, "Well, did you complete this form?" "Damn right I did, in triplicate." And so there's this fun little synergy going on between the two, chemistry. I really liked it.
I like where he brings extras. Well, you know what? We'll just throw this one in too, just in case. And she's like, "Oh," like, "You're impressive."
At one point, I'm like, "So who's going to give who their number?" It's got to happen. Would have been funny if at the party she was like, "You did really good. I still need you to fill out this report in quadruplicate." And he's like, "Oh, I already set that on your desk earlier." "Well, did you set your phone number on my desk earlier too?"
It's
no.
gift wrap.
Well, what's your number? He seemed to be pretty smooth with Veranda. Not so much with Miranda, though.
No.
The twin sister that we were going to eventually meet. I
I
think it was the same episode, and we were just like, "Wait a minute. Are they using clones?"
I love how he calls her Paper Queen.
Yeah, Tick calls her the Paper Queen. She scares me, chum.
She scares me. Because there's a form for this and paperwork for that. There's so much paperwork, and you can see his antenna fucking move every time he says paperwork because he hates it.
Yeah, he's just like, "Oh, what do I do here?" Well, when he was doing his job application for the Flag 5, and it's like, why don't you just check the box that says great memory loss? And that completes half the form for him instead of trying to remember all that other crap.
Yeah. Which is another thing that they didn't go back to. Keep an eye on the Tick.
Yep. That's why they got into the Flag 5. I need you to keep an eye on your friend. I'm not going to rat him out. No, I'm just asking you to keep dibs on him. And if something bad happens, you need to tell me about it.
Yeah. Which it made sense.
In that case, sure.
Ty wasn't a bad person. A bad person.
No, he just wanted to know, like, the second if Tick is starting to go down an evil path, he just wants to be like, ready for it.
Yeah.
And you can't ask. That's not a big ask for Arthur. It's like, you don't need to report on me every time he drinks a cup of coffee or a giant pitcher of it. You just need to tell me if he starts like going crazy, like he starts to beat up like good people. So
Yeah.
just keep him in check, really. All right, and let's see here. Kevin's back and categorically speaking. And I liked one of the background items in Ty Rathbone's office. Bullet bourbon, baby.
Bullet bourbon.
Yep, it was bullet bourbon. I recognize the bottle.
Nice.
It was pretty dope. I'm like, oh, that makes me want to have a drink. But yeah, we get a Paper Queen Veneranda here. And I don't have much else written on that one. Do you remember that one, Kevin?
Not at all.
Just Kevin comes back. I remember that one because he's back in town and he's like, keeping an eye out for the drones that are going on here because he knows something's going on with Aegis. And I know that the doc is starting to like test Arthur and Tick and their strength, and Tick rips apart the arm test of strength machine. That stays broken for the rest of the season.
Yes. It's ripped out and ripped apart.
I fixed it.
This is where we find out that Kevin knows about Aegis.
Yep.
Kevin and Dot tore the Aegis Center. We find out he can disappear and he has severe PTSD, but also it's not so much fear. He's also pointing a finger at like, shame on you to Dr. Agent. What's his fucks? What was Dr. Agent bad guy's name?
The Duke?
Yeah. I can't think of his last name, but anyway, he's the one that finds them on the tour. And
yeah.
Kevin's just pointing at him. You're a lab coat. Lab coat.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to get him thrown out.
Yeah. Like, is he having a PTSD moment at first? Like, maybe. But at the same time, you're like, is he shaming him? Yeah, maybe. Okay,
a little.
could go that way too. So, like, it was just really weird, but it was one of those things where you don't see Kevin for the rest of the show.
Right.
Little sad, because I like Kevin.
I like Kevin too. He's all right. He had more of a prominent role in season 1, but he still had something to do in this season, so I wasn't complaining too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and he, again, cooler in this than even what he was in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Which I think you might see him for like maybe 2 episodes in the cartoon.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But this is also where Flexon starts to get a little bit involved with being the attorney for Lobstercules. And they need to rescue lobsters in the next episode. Lay Low Ho. Lay Low Hotel. And I like that because you get like Miss Lint involved. We talked a little bit about this episode earlier, and she's reluctantly becoming an actual superhero. And the idiots at the hotel, they're trying to cook up the lobsters, but the lobsters all get rescued. They're trying to help Lobstercules get freed. Now, at some point here, Lobstercules does actually start talking to Aegis and showing, hey, I'm an intelligent creature. You can't go dissect me. And, you know, the plots across the board for just about everybody, including Overkill, they're all advancing very nicely. But Overkill ends up getting basically like captured at this point, and Walter saves Dot at the very end by pulling her off of the island because he got information from his former agency that something was going on. And he saved Dot after she survived a big explosion. And Overkill is now being reprogrammed
to be more or less overkill. Minor kill. Underkill.
Robokill.
Robokill, Robokill,
I like Robokill.
Hydrokill.
There you go. That one works too.
Yeah. What's it mean? I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, the next one is episode 8, Joan. Walter actually has to talk to Joan about what's going on, and Joan gets involved, and she ends up being grandma to a bunch of baby lobstercules. And there's not much more to say about this episode other than Joan steals the show. She speaks to the baby lobsters love her. They love Tick. You start to see a little more of the lightheartedness, and that, the whole family's now involved. The secrets are all pretty much out. Well, until the next episode when Joan asks Walter, is this really it for all the secrets? And then there's this little dramatic pause with Walter of, wait, is there one more? No, this really is it. because their shed is like this total tech armory is what's going on in that one. But I like Joan in this one actually having more of a role in this episode, and then for the rest of the season it's nice to see everybody coming together like that.
I love that she has the mother-in-law episodes or the mother-in-law conversation with Tick, where she's trying to like give Tick motherly advice.
Maybe they're hungry. And Tick takes the starfish and chomps on it because they're not eating, and he has to spit it into their mouths. And I'm like, as an audience, and everybody in that scene was just like, oh my god, we're really doing this.
Yeah, to the point where you get Kevin going, oh, he's doing it. Oh gosh, he's doing it.
And he's doing it again. Oh. I should get you a lobster for Christmas and a starfish. See if you could feed it.
Feed it to each other. I mean, sea life is interesting to feed and to eat.
Sea life. Oh my god.
I like lobster. My wife does not. She's like, it's a bug. Yeah, but it's good.
It's a good bug. The only good bug is a dead bug, Kevin.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that today. So here's what happened. I went to go buy that game because it was supposed to be on pre-sale up until today, and it was supposed to be released today. Today. And I was like, dude, Starship Troopers VR, that's for me. $17.99, that's for me. I'm going to get that game. And so, I took the kids to school. Instead of just going to my doctor's appointment after that, I came back to the house and I was like, baby, it's not on the PSN no more. Like, the game's not there at all. And I searched for it by name. It wasn't coming up. And I was like, well, I'll be goddamn. So I went to my doctor's appointment. We went and did some other errands, came back, and I looked for it, and it was on there again. And it was a completely new card. And it was no longer for pre-sale or pre-order. And it just says coming soon, was not release date today. And I was like, oh, they fucked up.
Yep.
And they've been charging people.
Ah, man, the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah. So, yeah, the only good bug is a dead bug or a singing bug. Baby bug, singing baby bug.
No baby bugs.
No baby bug.
No baby bugs. No baby. Episode 9, In the Woods. Arthur joins the Flag 5 after, in episode 8, they were interviewed by Viranda, who basically got them approved and said, well, you're going to be in the Flag 5, everybody. And they join, and they are trying to use their leverage to be able to assist Lobstercules a lot more. Lobstercules ends up getting pretty much like let loose after being reprogrammed to go after Tick and Arthur because the Duke is now onto them. Walter tells the truth to pretty much everybody here, or he's relatively caught up. And let's see, Hobbs. Dr. Hobbs is the traitor. And that's the big reveal of this episode. And Overkill is officially a bad guy at this point because Hobbs is using him. Hobbs, as the Duke, is using Overkill to try and take out everybody who is in his way. And this is probably the best episode of the season, in my opinion, as far as like overall story points. Everything's finally come to a culmination. We're getting the final standoff, and Miss Lint says, "Fuck off. I just robbed your ass. I'm out of here." And then Duke is on his own, and Tick comes right on up to him, and he's like, "I'm about to beat your ass, chum." And that was a fun moment. So a little bit of payback and satisfaction. And we're at the tail end of this. But we also, I believe in this episode, this is when Ty Rathbone and his chest open up for the Ragazon.
I'm always going to be sore about that.
Goddamn, Kevin.
God damn it.
Go set, you bitch.
Bitch.
Bitch. Rathbone sucks.
Oh, I thought you said Redbone. I was like, I like that band.
I said Rathbone.
Whatever.
No, that's a fun episode. I really like how they built everything up to this culmination point, and everything's starting to pay off. Even Dot seeing the bullets just kind of flinging right by, and she's like, "Yeah, I got this." She's totally finally assumed her role and what she's going to be doing going forward. And her and Overkill are going to be a team. And final episode is Choose Love. The Hobbs confrontation is resolved here. And I don't have many other notes other than this is the finale. And it's over pretty quick so that we can allow everybody a chance to kind of settle down after the events of that. But ultimately, Overkill and Dot are going to be a team. Tick and Arthur are off to do their usual routes and routines. And then Superion, you little bitch. You got chased down by the Galactic Police, buddy. You're in trouble now.
And they fucking sucker punched him in the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, apparently I'm guessing he was probably abusing his powers over us, acting as a god.
Well, they called him a criminal. So I'm like, is he like an escaped criminal or something?
Something like Booster Gold, maybe.
Okay.
Or like appearing to be more super than he actually is.
He's really just a nut job. Who can't stay off social media. What a shock.
These are dislikes and downvotes.
We'll just buy some bots and fix that. Now, if we were going to get another season, I hate to keep bringing it up, but if we got another season, what else would you have expected to see? I think Edgelord and Miss Lint would have been back again for sure. Probably up to very much no good. As far as Superion goes, I have no clue. Everybody else, I think, is working well as a group, but we'd be dealing with Ragazog.
Yeah, I definitely think we'd see Dot and Overkill killing a bunch of people. Well, but I think it would be something like you'd said, where now that Aegis is back open, but Ty's not there, like there's going to be a vacuum of superheroes necessary for the city. Like, and Tick and Arthur can't do it all by themselves, but they also can't manage all the new superheroes by themselves either. Right. So it would have been a good opportunity to see a lot of the crazier, zanier superheroes that don't always make the grade. Let's say it like Sewer Urchin or Deflator Mouse, who were some of the better superheroes in the city, but still, you could see superheroes or people trying to be superheroes, like the Human Bullet, fire me, boy. And, you know, the son fires his dad out of a giant cannon and he lands wherever. you know, if he
Eventually he
lives,
lands.
yeah, if he lives, he lives. If he dies, he dies. Either which way, it's a funny goddamn gag. You could have seen things like that. It would have been great to see.
Yeah. I mean, I think for sure the Terror might have been back. I don't know for how much, but probably at least an episode, maybe two. He probably play the role of like Hannibal Lecter in a jail. They'll still go to him and talk to him, try and get some information out of him, then have to refreeze him. But my big question would be about like Superion, and I think that's kind of about it. I mean, everything else seems to be pretty simple to kind of keep dynamics going forward and strong and test them while evolving them at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you get that each season and it feels like it keeps evolving and improving as they go along. Like 2 solid seasons, a third season, I think they would have really knocked it out of the park. I think we would have gotten an amazing season.
I think so. It would have been, I would have thought it would have been good enough to where they would have said, you know what? We'll give you funding for 2 more seasons. We'll let you fuck that off if you want. You can if you can. You can't if you can't. But here's the funding for it. I would have liked to have seen that. But no. They were just big old penises with it.
No, they wanted to get the boys rolling is what was going on. I think they just wanted to avoid brand confusion. Oh, you have Tick, which might be something a little more interesting, but you also have the boys. Ooh, which one might actually get us the most money? Of course, you're going to go with the boys. You got fucking Carl Urban on your cast. It's half your budget right there. Carl Urban, I'm making a joke. Relax, everybody.
I like everything about the
Shit
boys.
goes like fuck that show.
I think both shows are probably pretty fantastic in their own right.
Season 1 of The Boys is dope, though. But
I wish
we didn't have to get more of that at the expense of Tick season 3 or more.
Yeah, because we didn't get that anyway. So
yeah.
Anyway, meh.
But I think it would have been a fun show. I think season 3, if they had a chance, they could have wrapped everything up and been like, all right, this is our last season. Let's go completely fucking crazy and just go for it. I think we could have gotten away with that. And I think that would have been a nice tie-up for a third season, just to wrap everything up.
Yeah. It would have been great if they could have done something like release Proto Clown, the indestructible clown.
And that's right.
Have Tick drop him on his Superion's homeworld. That would have been fucking funny. Like Doomsday, but clown.
Yeah. Clownpocalypse. Well, thank you for that, Kevin. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. And when you subscribe, please hit the little bell notification so you can stay tuned to all of our video content. And hey, if you got any comments, got any memories, any thoughts about The Tick Season 2 on Amazon Prime, please put it down below, and we will see you all on the next one.